met you in the Georgia mountains, and you gave me a bottle of pineapple flavored bourbon. Do you remember the second time I met you in the mountains of Tennessee, and you gave me a bottle of Blackberry flavored Tennessee whiskey? But the last time I met you was in the mountains of Quebec, and you gave me a bottle of chocolate flavored Canadian whiskey.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Bourbon Bites Whiskey Reviews with a Gaming Twist. I'm your host Clifton, and welcome to another Thursday night live stream. Today we're doing something a little crazy because we are doing a flavored whiskey flight, some of which are the newest bottles available to us here on the market in 2025. I'm so excited to... Excited's a little bit too much of a word. I'm so interested in sharing my thoughts on these with you guys. As we know, this is mostly a serious whiskey channel. And I say mostly because, let's be real, it's not the most serious channel, as you could tell by my intro music. But it is still a channel where I take whiskey seriously. So today we're going to be drinking 3 different flavored whiskeys. We're going to do them neat, and then we're going to do them as more like a mixed drink, right? Because I feel like these aren't necessarily meant to be drank neat. So if you are curious about the whiskeys we're drinking, I'm sure you saw the thumbnail, we are drinking, starting with Jim Beam Pineapple. I saw this, and I'm like, I thought I read it wrong, because there's like apple flavored Jim Beams. I'm like, oh wait, maybe that's just the apple. No, it's literally pineapple flavored Jim Beam. As someone that loves Jim Beam as a distillery, I am curious. I don't know how I could think pineapple would work with bourbon, but I'm definitely willing to give it a try. So we're going to start there. We're going to work our way to the darker, more rich flavors. Next up on the flight, we have a Jack Daniel's Tennessee Blackberry. Now, this is a new release. I've been seeing ads for this one everywhere. This one, I think, actually, this one doesn't scare me as much. I feel like this one could work, right? Like Blackberry, I think of like whiskey lemonades. I feel like Blackberry could work pretty well with that flavor. You get some red fruit flavors on bourbon anyways. So I think Blackberry, I guess Blackberry's not really red fruit, right? But it's in that realm of fruits. I don't know. I'm curious about this one. I'm curious to hear how this is. Now, my fear of these, and especially the last one, is a lot of flavored whiskey to me comes off as extremely sweet, and the whiskey flavor get lost. And that's not what I want. I want a flavored whiskey to be a whiskey. I don't want it to be like a Fireball where all you taste is cinnamon. Like, I want it to have some character of the whiskey itself. And you would think with big names like Jim Beam and Jack Daniel's, they could do that. But we'll find out today if that's the case, or if these are going to be just straight up sugar bomb shots. Now, lastly, if you saw the thumbnail, I got, this is back, basically, this was allocated at my local Total Wine. I could have only bought 12 of these if I was ever interested in buying 12 of them. And this is the Crown Royal chocolate flavored whiskey. So this one is, like I said, limited edition. I love the box. It is a really cute box, like a chocolate bar. Chocolate flavored Canadian whiskey. And, I think chocolate's another flavor that I think could work well if done right. Whiskey has some sweetness itself. It does have some, maybe a little bit of like caramel cocoa kind of notes on it. So we're going to see how they nailed this, or if they failed this chocolate flavored whiskey. We have the beautiful bottle here. This is the one that I got a full size of because let's be honest, if there was a mini size bottle of it, I would have bought it. But there wasn't, so I had to get the full size. Retail on these are relatively affordable, but again, I'm not willing to spend that much on a bottle of flavored whiskey unless I know it's good. And that's what tonight's all about, is to find out which one is the best. So Jim Beam Pineapple, mini bottle is about $2. The retail on the 750 milliliter was about $12. So I know money-wise, like, this would have been more cost-effective to get the full-size bottle, but, you know, I wasn't willing to commit to a full experience with it, shall I say. Let me look at the Jack Daniel's Blackberry, actually. I forget how much that one was. Mini bottle was also $1.99. Yeah, so the Jack Daniel's Blackberry was closer to $18 for me, so it's a little bit more. It's also a little bit higher proof. So the Jim Beam is 32.5% ABV or 65 proof. The Jack Daniel's Blackberry is 35% ABV or 70 proof. And lastly, the Crown Royal. I'll take it out of its little sexy lingerie. This one's coming in at 70 proof as well, so 35% ABV. So, you know, what you would expect with flavored whiskey, but we're going to give it a shot. Listen, I love experimenting. I love trying new things. So we're going to see what these are all about. So we're going to try them neat first, and then we're going to try mixing them with one of my favorite mixers in just when I'm drinking a whiskey. So I want to say hello to some folks here in the chat. I see that there were some people hanging out early. Whiskey Sensory Shenanigans, Michael is in the chat. He said, good evening, all you wonderful whiskey people. Don't know if I'll make the live stream, but I'll definitely watch the replay to see flavored hilarity. Have fun. And then a shrug emoji. Taste and Sensibility, Doug is here. What's up, Doug? Good to see you. Tony said, who's got 2 thumbs and isn't using them to type on his phone? This guy. Cheers, Clifton. Well, I can cheers you, but I only got 1 thumb, so sorry about that, man. Alfonso's here. Good to see you in the chat. He was like, what is this music? It sounded sus AI generated. Yeah, if you guys missed the opening, I put together a special tune just for tonight. So make sure to catch the replay and watch the beginning of the stream just to get a little in the mood for tonight's stream. I'm taking that intro as unseriously as I'm taking this whiskey. So if you missed it, go check out the replay. It was fun. All right. Who else is here in the chat? I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. Oh, why is it froze? Okay, come on. Oh, there we go. Scroll down a little bit. I see Tony's here as well. I can attest that Jack Daniel's Blackberry is not meant to be drank neat. Also, Dr. Pepper Blackberry was a bust. Yeah, I heard about that. Was it Blackberry? There was a Dr. Pepper. I remember the ads on the radio, and it was like, "Arr, like fruity mate, we're having Dr. Pepper." Was it the Blackberry one? I don't know why it was Blackberry, but whatever. M's here as well. She said, I love it when notifications fail. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, hopefully I'm stalling enough time to get people into the room to hang out with us today. Tom Morrow is in the chat. Tom, good to see you. Want to say hello before I have to go to sleep. Have a great live tonight. Thank you. I'm sorry you had to see me on such a ridiculous stream, but you know what? We have fun here too. So Zopher says chocolates with whiskey and the fillings do work. That's a good point, Zopher. Emily says Crown might be great in brownies or cake. Good call. Adam Freeze in the chat. Don Nashita's in the chat. He says, I like a whiskey flavor whiskey. That's the point I was making at the top, is like, I'm supportive of flavored whiskeys, but they can't be too sweet, and there's got to be a lot of whiskey character still there. So we'll see. I'm not expecting too much, at least on these little ones. So for pricing, like I said, the bottle of the Jim Beam Pineapple was around $12. The bottle of the Jack Daniel's was around $18, and the Crown Royal was allocated in my area. I could only get 12 bottles of it, and that was going for about $22. So, like, it's the most expensive of them all, but, like, we'll see. We'll see how they do. All right, we're going to start with the first one, which is the Jim Beam Pineapple, if that will focus. There we go. Now, technically, this is a pineapple liqueur infused with Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. So that's the official TTB definition of it. It says a Kentucky-inspired family tradition, sweet and tropical pineapple liqueur infused with Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. So they're not calling it necessarily a bourbon. They're saying it is infused with bourbon. So at least they're a little transparent there, okay? I'm not expecting this to be the most bourbon-y bourbon that Jim Beam makes, but I am very curious to give it a try. So let's get that poured neat first before we do a mix for it. All right, here we go. Cheers. I felt like, am I cheaping out by just buying these mini bottles? But like, if it's something that I don't think I'm going to love, I would hate to have a whole bottle and be stuck with it, you know? I've done that in the past, and I swear I have some flavored whiskey bottles sitting in my closet over there that have not been touched since the live stream. So, Don said some mixed Jim Beam pineapple with Booker's Country Ham and boom, Hawaiian whiskey. I love that, Don. That is amazing. I wouldn't want to ruin a good batch, or dare I say, great batch of Booker's with Jim Beam pineapple. Let me see if I can pull up their website. Let's see how they're selling this. I did see a Facebook post for this one in particular that said mixing it with lemonade. It was like talking about doing like a what's the flavor, or what's the brand of lemonade? The Simply, which I do really like Simply's products. They're saying doing like a Simply lemonade Jim Beam pineapple, and I'm like, you know what? That sounds pretty dang good. All right, it just says introducing the newest flavor in our portfolio. Jim Beam pineapple is a fine balance of sweet pineapple flavor that pairs perfectly with the rich bourbon notes of vanilla, caramel, and oak for a warm, smooth finish. There's 24 reviews on their website. Now, I don't know where they're sourcing those from, but it's got a 5 out of 5 stars. So somebody, now I don't know if that's just posted by Jim Beam employees or not, somebody out there really likes this one. All right, let's give it a nose. You can tell I'm hesitant. Oh, kind of interesting. It kind of reminds me of like peach rings, like peach ring candy. Very sweet though, very citrus. Pineapple, honestly, artificial pineapple is not a flavor that I feel like I'm super familiar with. Like, trust me, I love pineapple. I buy pineapple juice for a lot of tiki cocktails I do. Every time I go to Hawaii, I always make sure to end the trip by having fresh pineapple on the beach. It's just like one of our traditions. So very familiar with traditional, actual pineapple, not super familiar with an artificial version. It smells a little bit like not sunscreen, because that's more coconut. It has an element there that I can tell it's trying to be pineapple, but it's so sweet. And it's not like the sweet, juiciness that you would get from a pineapple. It's more of a sweet candy. Like if you had a pineapple Jolly Rancher, think in that territory. I don't know if they even make that, but that's kind of the territory I'm getting that. A little bit of lemon too. It's a little bit of tartness. Honestly, it's not bad. I don't immediately think pineapple when I smell it. I think more of just like a fruit punch kind of note. It's a very all over the place with the flavor, but it doesn't smell bad. Now, when I'm looking for those bourbon notes, I say the vanilla and caramel and oak. I find it hard to find any of those notes on the nose, at least nose alone, because it's going to be so sweet. I already know. Gummy bears, that's a great one, Emily. Yeah, if you had like a pineapple gummy bear, that's kind of the territory this would be. Not realistic at all, but doesn't smell bad. Let's give it a taste. Cheers, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Hey, if you want to see more live streams like this or some more serious ones like the ones the previous couple weeks, also next week I'm going to do another 10 cup live stream where I'm going to taste through the entire 10 cup American whiskey lineup, including their 14-year bourbon. So make sure to subscribe, hit the bell button, make sure to hit all notifications. Emily said there's some notification issues, so just make sure that you've actually clicked it before you leave. And thank y'all for watching. Hit the thumbs up while you're here too, because you guys someone's got to support me doing this. I mean, or else I'm just doing this by myself, and that's not a good time for anyone. All right, let's go for a taste. Cheers. Oh. I think I get it. It's interesting because it's still that fake like pineapple gummy bear kind of flavor, but the bourbon actually does bring a bit of a baked good note to it. I saw the comment from Don saying pouring that over a slice of pound cake. This actually already tastes like a pound cake in a glass. It has a bready quality to it, like a pineapple upside down cake. I guess that's more of what it's going for. It's like bready, little vanilla, like vanilla cake, like, cake mix, box cake mix. That combined with this like tropical-ish sweet flavor, that's not bad at all, even on its own. I mean, I would drink it. Okay, I wouldn't drink that, but I'm saying like if someone gave me a pour of that over ice, like, and I was sitting out on a beach, I wouldn't like, turn my nose up at it. I actually think it works. Surprisingly, it sounds like the most ridiculous combination, Jim Beam pineapple, but it actually kind of works. And I think this could be a great summer cocktail or a on the rocks whiskey. Did not expect that. I like that. Okay. Let me take another sip before I make a final call, and then I'll add in the mixer. Pecker House in the house. Welcome. Cheers. I didn't realize I was like in the house, but cheers. It almost has a little bit of like a. The only thing off-putting is like it's the alcohol with that such a sweet flavor. Almost is reminiscent of like a I don't want to say cough syrup, but it's like a it's a little medicinal, but I think that's just the way that the alcohol is expressing itself. There's not much alcohol. This one's the lowest ABV of them all, 65 proof. So you're really not getting much alcohol influence, but it is there a little bit, which makes you think a little bit more like cough syrup. Like you would give this to a. I was gonna say you would give it to a kid, which I shouldn't. Do not give alcohol to your kids, but it kind of seems like something you would give them like as like a remedy for something. Yeah, I actually don't mind that, but we're not just gonna try it neat. Like I said, I do want to do a little bit of a mixer here. Now, again, they recommend mixing this with lemonade. You can mix it with lots of different things. My go-to mixer of choice, actually, is a little different than I think maybe some folks, but Emily, I saw your comment a minute ago. It's actually ginger beer. So this is actually diet ginger beer, but I'm a big fan of it. It's got some sugar in it. It's 25 calories. It's a mix of cane sugar as well as some aspartame as well, but it does have a very natural ginger flavor, and you're getting a little bit of that actual sugar as well. So this is going to be my mixer today. Trust me, I don't need any more sugar after these whiskeys because they are sweet as heck. But I'm going to try putting a little bit of ginger beer into each of these and see if it works as a mixed drink. All right. Sorry, that was like really hard to open. All right, let's go ahead and add some ginger beer. Just do a little swirly swirl. You know, sometimes these get a little sediment at the bottom. There we go. All right. There we go. I don't know my ratios here. I'm pouring it into a Glencairn here. But, you know, you can still see the color from that bourbon on there. Oh, Emily says, or mix it with some unsweet tea. I can see that working too. Pecker House says, I bet that pineapple and rum chata would make a pineapple cake cocktail. I don't know if you'd want to add rum chata because it's so sweet already. I almost want it, because rum chata is such a sweet flavor. I feel like you would be better off just adding just horchata, just like natural horchata, because I think there's enough sweetness already. Maybe some rum just to give it a little extra ABV, but not. It doesn't need like rum chata, I don't think, because it's unless you're doing a shot. If you're doing it like a shot, then maybe, but not as a mixed drink. It would just be too sweet, I think. Doug says, I'm making you want to go out and grab a mini bean pineapple. I mean, it's $2, right? If you see it, like next time you're in the liquor store, check the mini selection. My Total Wine has a huge selection of minis, so I always, like, before I check out, no matter what I'm getting, I look at it because they do have some regular whiskeys there too. So it's an easy way to try something. It's basically like buying a pour at a bar is what I think of it, but for $2, it's not that bad. Chocolate is scary with the ginger. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I could not think of what I would want to mix a chocolate flavored whiskey with. My guess was like as an old fashioned, but I'm just gonna try it with ginger ale, just see how it does today. Might have to pull it back out and try it with something else later, because I couldn't think of it. Even lemonade, chocolate whiskey and lemonade just doesn't work. Maybe if you had Screwball, mix it with some Screwball peanut butter whiskey, have a little Reese cup. I don't know. Yeah. Alfonso said my brain still can't wrap around bourbon and pineapple. Mine either. But to me, the bourbon is expressing like a vanilla cake. So if you think about it like that, Zopher, it's like pineapple upside down cake is the best way to describe the flavor. Don said in Hawaii, we mix unsweetened iced tea and pineapple juice and call it a plantation iced tea. Huh, I've never thought about that, but I could see that working really well. Although I think pineapple juice itself isn't the most sweet. So I feel like I don't know if I would want unsweetened or maybe a little bit of sweet tea. I don't know. Chocolate and black coffee. That's an interesting one. I know some people do add whiskey to their coffee. I've never found the desire to do that because I don't know, like when I want my coffee, I'm like half dead in the morning and I don't have a need to add whiskey to it. I don't think of having coffee as like a evening drink. You know, but you do you. Everyone does their own thing. All right, let's go ahead and try this pineapple, Jim Beam, and some ginger beer. Cheers. Okay, yes. Yep. That's a good combo. I mean, it's a little sweet. I will say I'm a fan of all kinds of mules. Like that's why I grab ginger beer. Like I'll love a Moscow Mule with vodka, a Kentucky Mule with bourbon. Oh shit, I don't even know what they're called. Like a rum mule, which is kind of almost like a mojito. I love mojitos. And then there's like a tequila mule. So there's a lot of different types of mules. My point is, ginger beer is one of my favorite mixers. I just normally mix it with a spirit versus with a flavored liqueur or whiskey. So I think it's a little too sweet for me. I think the ginger kind of overshadows the pineapple. Maybe if my proportions had been a little bit maybe less ginger beer, a little more pineapple. I'll go a little lighter on the ginger beer with my next one, but it's not bad at all. I don't dislike it. Actually, I have a little bit more pineapple. Let me see if that'll fix it. I just think that it adds a lot of sweetness that I don't think benefits it. Might as well finish it. Why am I saving it like I'm gonna like hold on to this bottle of pineapple flavored whiskey? I have no use for it beyond this stream. I was even gonna buy second bottles of this. So I'm like, I can do a giveaway and you can win samples. But I'm like, it's not worth the cost of ship or hand delivering these to you guys. You can just go into a liquor store and buy them. All right, I put a little bit more pineapple. Let's see how it is. What's up, Brandon? Good to see you in the chat. Don said chocolate whiskey with bourbon cream and a touch of screwball. I can see that working. Listen, it might just me. I don't have a sweet tooth. Like I'm the weird guy that like would skip dessert for another portion of food. I've always been like that, like at buffets, like when I go to like an all-you-can-eat buffet, I'm with people and they're always like, okay, let's get dessert, and they get all these cakes and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'll take another order of crab legs. Like that, I'm like that guy. So I'm not normally like a super sweet person. I do enjoy a nice dessert, especially like a high-quality dessert. This one's just a little too sweet for me. Depends on the ripeness of the pineapple, says Sofer. Good call, good call. Better. I mean, but I think the sweetness, again, I prefer, could be a personal preference, I prefer just straight bourbon whiskey combined with my ginger beer versus a flavored bourbon. If I was going to add a flavor to it, I'm not opposed to adding a flavor. We have a lot of like Monin syrups that we started out using them for coffee, but we've actually been using a lot more for cocktails now. I would put a little bit of syrup to add a little flavor, but just a tiny bit, not nearly as sweet as this whiskey becomes. Yeah, it's starting to get a little warm. I didn't bring any ice, so I'm gonna set this aside. For the after party, I'll go get some ice to revitalize these a bit. But we got more whiskey to drink, so let's move on to flavored whiskey number 2 tonight. All right. This is, like I said at the top of the stream, this is Jack Daniel's Tennessee Blackberry, coming in at 70 proof. Now, as with the Jim Beam, this one is a blackberry liqueur blended. How do you guys say that? Like I've heard it pronounced liqueur, liqueur. I try to always say liqueur because I think that's like I've heard bartenders say it that way. So curious how you guys say it. But yes, it is that blended with Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey. So just like the Jim Beam, it is first and foremost a liqueur, and then secondary is that the whiskey added to it. So it's more of a, and this says blended. The first one said infused. Yeah, it says infused with bourbon. This says blended with bourbon. So maybe we're stepping a bit up with the bourbon amount. We'll see. Doug says, I can see Clifton throwing away a whole tub of mini bottles doing a recycled reviews type video a la Aquavite. Yeah, I used to see those videos all the time. Does he still do that? Oh my gosh, this one's not opening. Give me a second. Something like liqueur. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been saying. Oh my gosh, this is not... I would normally use my teeth, but I've been trying to do less of that because, I don't know, as I'm getting older, I'm like, my teeth are fragile and I have like a new chip in one of them. So I'm scared to try to use my teeth. Let me just try it a little off camera. I don't want to like weird y'all out. Hold on. All right, those cracks you heard were not my teeth. It was the cap. These aluminum caps, I don't like them on a mini bottle. I much prefer plastic, or even the ones that I send whenever I send samples. Which, by the way, if you guys can become a patron or a Bite Club member at the $50 tier, I send 5 1-ounce samples every month. And we just did our tasting actually yesterday. We tasted through the new Bombergers, the new Shanks. We did a blind American single malt taste test to find out which was our favorite state for an American single malt. ton of fun. If you guys want to get in on that, check it out, bourbonbites.com. Like I said, it's a $50 tier, but you do get a custom sample set every month. You can join our private tasting. I know Fred, who's a patron of ours at that level, and Todd Cooper. They've been doing it for quite a few years now, so it's definitely a good way to try new things and not break the bank and support. Maybe I was gonna say one of your favorite creators, but like, who am I to say that? I would hope that if you're here regularly, you enjoy my content. So but you can also support for as little as $2 a month. On bourbonbites.com. That gets you access to some exclusive polls, some sneak peeks at what's coming soon. Of course, the $5 tier gets you access to our movie night, which happens every month. We do a retro movie night. $10 tier gets you access to our after party hangout after every Thursday night live stream. You can join us, including this one. We'll be hanging out over on Discord. $25 tier is very similar to that, but then the $50 tier, there are perks. I feel like $25 tier is for people that just really want to support, but they don't want to commit to the $50 tier, which I totally get. $50 tier is where you get the sample box, and then the $100 tier is my Bourbon Daddy. And if you know what my Bourbon Daddy gets. My Bourbon Daddy gets what my Bourbon Daddy wants. Is all I gotta say. Oh, that was weird. I don't want anyone to use that clip. Don't clip that. Better not to use teeth later in life. Yeah, I don't know. Someone asked me. I was like, oh, is that a new? Or it was. I don't know if it was a dentist or whatever. Oh, you know what it was? I felt like a rough part of my tooth, and I was like, why does this feel wrong? Justin was like, that's a new chip. I'm like, so crap. It's because having one arm, I use my teeth for a lot more things than I think normal people do, like opening things, as you just saw. So I think over time, like, things just happen. So that's why my teeth aren't perfect, I could get veneers, I guess, but yeah. I use them more of a tool than most people, I would say. I use teeth where it counts, but I don't use teeth where you don't want to use teeth. Let that sink in. All right. I know what I'm drinking next time I come over, says Brandon. Oh, you want the Blackberry? You want the Blackberry Jack Daniels? Okay. You know what? I might save a little bit for you, Brandon. Also, hi, Brandon. I think I said hi to you earlier, but oh, shoot. I need to get back to you. You were asking about coming over either this weekend or next weekend. Next weekend might be better because I'm not prepared, but let's chat. I know I forgot you asked me that. So let's not plan on this weekend unless next weekend doesn't work for you anymore. Then we can figure something out. But yeah, I miss you. It's been a while. We got to figure out what we're streaming. Alfonso said, we love Clifton. And then Tony said, I'm only here because I love Don Nishida. I gotcha. Listen, I'm only here for Don Nishida as well. Actually, what's funny is I was looking back at a live stream from 2019 the other day, actually last night. And I was looking at who was in the chat, and it was Don Nishida. It was Steven Sussman. It was, I forgot who the other person was. Joseph Brazo. It was Brandon was there. It was funny. It was like the OGs of the channel, and that was back in 2019 when I was reviewing. What was it? I was trying something for the first time, and I wanted to go back and revisit it. So, all right. Brandon says the 20th it is. All right. So y'all make sure to tune in for a special Saturday stream next Saturday. All right. This is the Jack Daniels Blackberry. Sorry, I'm very burpy from that ginger beer. Color-wise, much darker. I mean, this is so much darker than the Jim Beam was. It's got a nice color on it. Let's go ahead and give it a nose. Oh. Okay. That's a weird one. Let me pull up their website. Let's see what they say about it. I don't want to misrepresent them. Well, they have a little info on the side here. Let's see what they say. We can read this. I'm going to rely on my magnification of my webcam to read it. Oh, was that even going to say anything? It just says highest quality ingredients for a delicious experience. Caramel color added. Great. Wonderful. Blackberry flavor. Sweet taste. Did the Jim Beam have caramel color added? Well, that makes me a little upset because I was just praising the color on this. Not for underage is what this says. Okay, so I will give credit where credit's due. Jim Beam Pineapple did not have color added, which probably explains why it's so light. The Jack Daniel's Tennessee Blackberry does have caramel color adding. So, not to say that that's for a flavored whiskey, it's not unexpected, but it is. I take back why I was praising the color on it. Brandy Blackberry shorts. Oh no. Yeah, nose on this one. It's not a fresh berry note. It's definitely more of a blackberry pie note. And listen, I grew up in the South, right? I really enjoyed a good blackberry pie. And it's a pretty dang good, accurate representation of that note. It's just, it's not going to be like a fresh, because I mean, listen, I grew up, like I said, in the South. We used to pick fresh blackberries off the bush, just like as a summer thing. So I'm very familiar with that fresh taste. Actually, I just picked blackberries. Where was I? We were, it was when we were in Seattle, like in August. We found a blackberry bush, and we picked them fresh off the vine. Reminded me a lot of my childhood. So this one is not like a fresh blackberry nose. It's definitely more in line. You know, I say a blackberry pie, but it doesn't smell like a freshly baked pie. It's almost like it's an artificial filling. The closest thing I can relate this nose to is the filling inside of a Pop-Tart. Maybe a wild berry Pop-Tart. Yeah, it's so sweet. It's almost like a jelly. It's kind of like reminds me of like a jam or like a grape jam or something, but it has a little tartness to it. So it does remind me of the filling of a Pop-Tart. So get that out of the way. Maybe this is the most Pop-Tart like whiskey there is. They have a whole video of it on their channel. We're not going to watch that. It says whiskey like no, this is just their regular website. Hold on. I was like, what? It said a whiskey like none other. I'm like, you mean your blackberry whiskey? All right, this says the only blackberry bursting with Jack. A blend of Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey and a unique blackberry liqueur of our own making. Together, they create a smooth, sweet taste that's perfectly enjoyed with friends. It says the flavor of real blackberries blended with Old No. 7, bold character with a smooth, sweet taste. They give you a few cocktail recipes. Ooh, this looks really good. Aroma. Oh, here's their, okay. Their nosing notes say rich blackberry cobbler, brightened with a splash of Old No. 7. I do think they are right on the nose. Hostess pies from middle school. Oh yeah, it's like they used to be like $1, right? Those like pies you would get in there, like the crinkly wrap. The paper was like kind of crunchy, crinkly. You know what I'm talking about? Yes, I think, and we're on the same thing here. They did nail it with that blackberry cobbler note. Okay, they have some tasty notes here. We'll see if I agree with them. Let me taste it first, though. Cheers, y'all. Cheers to exploring flavored whiskey. Here we go. Oh. You know when I said that the Jim Beam pineapple almost reminded me of like a medicinal kind of thing, like a cough syrup? But it wasn't because it tasted like cough syrup. It just kind of had some of the alcohol burn of cough syrup. This one tastes like cough syrup. I'll be honest. It tastes like cherry cough syrup. One of my least favorite. I mean, I was okay with the orange cough syrup. I was okay with the purple cough syrup as a kid. The cherry one was the only one that I couldn't get behind. This one is reminiscent of that. It numbs your mouth a little bit. It almost reminds me, I had a cherry throat spray. I forgot the name of the brand, but it was like a throat spray you did to like numb your throat when you had a sore throat. This is weirdly reminiscent of that. Oh, I don't think that makes me really disappointed because it smelled really good. I was hoping for like a Pop-Tart like thing because like I said, the Jim Beam on the palate had like a cake note to it. So I kind of thought maybe this was going to do a similar thing with that whiskey expressing more like a pie crust. There's some caramel, there's some vanilla, but it's not reading like cake or pie. It's just reading like artificial flavor and artificial sweetness. This was a letdown. Yeah, this is not good neat. Now we're going to try it mixed like we did with the other one. I think, you know, a blackberry whiskey mule in concept sounds great. Kepasol spray? I don't remember the name of it. Again, I was just a kid, but yeah, it's too cherry. It's too like, but not like real cherry, like really artificial, sweet, medicinal cherry. That's a letdown. It's a real big letdown. I'm gonna take. I realized that I poured all of it in here before I. Okay, let me take another sip. Then I'm gonna pour the ginger beer in it. All right, let's try mixing in some ginger beer. Maybe this one will help it recover a bit. Because it's just such a sweet alcohol. Like, it just doesn't work. This does smell nice on the nose. Actually, okay, we might be onto something. Maybe we weren't supposed to drink this neat, which is kind of what I assumed all along. On the nose, this smells like a classy cocktail. Okay. I think this one actually, at least on the nose, I have a good feeling it's going to work really well with the ginger beer. Let's try it, though. Cheers. Oh, that's delightful. Oh my goodness, yes. Yes. It still has a little bit of that like harsh, bitter, like medicinal cherry kind of thing to it. Does medicinal cherry make sense as a note? Because I feel like I keep saying it, but I hope you guys, when I say medicinal cherry, I'm talking about cherry cough syrup. That very specific like cherry, but it's bitter and it burns, like not in a good way. That's kind of what I'm getting. There's a hint of that still there, but I will say this drink's much, much more like a craft cocktail now. Again, not the coldest thing. Needs a citrus twist, says Emily. Yeah, I think this with a splash of like lemon juice in it would be, or lime juice would be delightful. Yeah, that one is really on to something. Now they recommend it blended with a lemonade here. They say there's a Tennessee Blackberry Smash, which I think would be really well. And then a Blackberry and lemon lime soda. I'm mad about that, but so I think a Blackberry Smash would work really well with just some soda water. Yeah, that one. I mean, I'm not gonna diss that as a mixed drink. I'm gonna rank these. Once I'm gonna rank them neat, and then the second time I'm gonna rank them as a mixer, a cocktail mixer. So we'll get to that. We got one more to try. Medicinal cherries, medical cherry is a thing. Okay, thank you, Emily. Fat Corn's here. Cherry bark. Hello, everybody. Hello to you. Don said not meant to be consumed neat. They should print that on bottles of Malort. Yeah. Yeah, that one. The Jim Beam pineapple actually weirdly worked neat. I think I prefer it. No, actually, no, I prefer that one neat, weirdly enough. At least based on first experience. But yeah, that Jack Daniel's Tennessee Blackberry doesn't work neat. All right, I've delayed it long enough, have I? We got one more flavored whiskey to try here tonight. This is the one that came in this beautiful, beautiful box, I will say. Limited edition. This was allocated at my store. I could only buy 12. Unfortunately, I only bought 11. Just kidding. I just bought one. Crown Royal Chocolate. Let's look at this label here. Chocolate flavor. This is the first one that actually says chocolate flavored whiskey. Everything else said infused or blended. Now that I love that I just said that, and then look what it says. Blended and infused. Oh, it's both of them, baby. With the flavor of rich, velvety chocolate. Now, there is a noticeable difference here. The other one said liqueurs blended with whiskey. These say whiskey blended and infused with chocolate. So at least it's putting the whiskey first in the name. I will say beautiful label. It's gorgeous. I have a feeling there's probably some caramel color added here. It is really dark. Let me read the back of it. Let's see what we have to see here. From the whiskey brand originally crafted as a gift for royalty, Crown Royal represents the standard of excellence for Canadian whiskey. Crown Royal Chocolate is the perfect blend of carefully selected whiskeys infused with rich chocolate flavors for a smooth and velvety finish. Product of Canada. I'm not necessarily seeing anything about color being added, but I don't know if Canadian whiskey, I don't know if they have to label that. Can someone clarify that? If Canadian whiskey has to clarify if there's color added? There has to be. I mean, look at the color on that. Yeah, there's nothing on the bottle that says color added, but just taking an educated guess here. There's some color on this one. Like I said, this one's about $22, the most expensive of the flavored whiskeys we've had here tonight. Let's get it poured. Again, I think the bottle's gorgeous. It's really cool. I've always loved the Crown Royal bottles. Chocolate could go a couple directions, says Zopher. I agree. Malort has its place more than that Crown. Well, hey, we don't judge. We drink and we don't judge. Fat Corn said I had a chocolate flavored soda from Canada. I like the ketchup potato chips way better. I have had the ketchup potato chips, and I've had the salt and pepper. I think the salt and pepper potato chips are also Canadian, if I remember correctly. I will say my favorite invention from Canada is the all-dressed potato chip, especially the ridges, the ones with like the ripples in it. So good. The Lay's just recently put out a all-dressed version that I don't think compares to the what's it called? Ruffles. I said wrinkles. Ruffles chips. They had an all-dressed one a couple years back. That was my favorite potato chip altogether. But yeah, Canada can do some good stuff. They can make some fantastic whiskey. Actually, I was just drinking the it's hidden in the back. I have a JP Weiser 23 cask strength that I was just sipping on the other night, and it was really good. It's held up. I've had it for a while now. All right, Let's nose the Crown Royal chocolate whiskey. Oh, whoa, that is, yep. That is chocolate. Wow. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised that they can put a chocolate flavor into something, but that is straight up chocolate icing, like chocolate frosting. Wow. Very sweet, very milk chocolate. Like it's not a dark chocolate at all in the nose. Hot cocoa? What? What is this? What is this? What is this creation here? I don't know how I feel about that because that is a beautiful chocolate nose with a bit of oak there as well. Like if barrel aged hot chocolate was a thing, it would smell like this. That's actually pretty damn impressive. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. I thought this was going to be the weirdest one. Oh, okay. No, I thought the jumping pineapple was going to be the weirdest one, let's be honest. I did not expect that to smell so dang good. Tony said that's what you do. I said we listen and we don't judge. Yeah, we drink and we don't judge. I drink and I judge. Yes. But I taste it first. All dress ruffles, stomps, all dress lace. Thank you. Thank you, Zopher. I agree 100%. Glad to see someone else says that. All right. That is a fantastic nose. I don't think I'm meant to be drinking this neat, but I'm going to go for it anyways. I mean, that's a 10 out of 10 nose for me for a flavored whiskey. But let's get how it tastes. All right. Cheers. I think we have a winner here. Like, that works almost too well. Wow. I'm speechless. I'll be honest, I've not read any reviews of this. I've not watched anyone's reviews of this. I expected it to be hot garbage, I'll be honest. Now, not to say that Crown Royal hasn't nailed it in the past. I love their Royal Apple. Oh my gosh. That is delightful. Let me pull up their website. Okay, hold on. What? Why is that so good? Let's see what they say on their website here. Silky smooth chocolate flavor. Oh, gotta put my birth year. 1903. Oh, that's not a valid date. Oh, apparently they don't believe that I was born that year. Wow, okay. All right, okay. Silky smooth chocolate flavor delight, masterfully blended with luxurious whiskey, bursting with velvety flavor amongst our Crown Royal signature smoothness. Playful, fun, tasty, and perfect for connecting with new friends and old. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll stop being silent now. Let me speak. I do think that it lacks a lot of whiskey element, but I don't know if that's what they were necessarily going for here. I don't think they were expecting us to taste the Crown Royal. I think that what they wanted to provide was the smooth Crown Royal experience with a flavored whiskey. I would compare this to the likes of Screwball, which is one of my favorite flavored whiskeys. I would even compare it to, the only reason I would compare it to Fireball is because I think it's like focused on the flavor rather than the whiskey element of it. It's just like the whiskey is the catalyst to bring you the flavor. And maybe the whiskey has caused such a creaminess and a smoothness that they couldn't achieve if, let's say, this was a vodka. Now, I've not had chocolate flavored vodka. That's kind of strange to me, but I'm sure they make it. It does have a velvetiness to the mouth feel. It's like the difference between, I imagine a vodka, a chocolate flavored vodka, to be like a Hershey Kiss, and this to be more like a Dove chocolate. It's not like a premium craft chocolate. It's still got a little bit of that mass-produced element to it, but it does have some creaminess and some velvetiness. That is damn good. I never thought I would be saying that about flavored Crown Royal. I might have to keep this regularly stocked. What am I saying? Are you guys unsubscribing as I speak? I feel like some of you might be. I'll try mixing it with the ginger beer. I don't know if that's gonna work. I'm gonna do a lot smaller. Let me just pour a little bit into what's left in my glass. So I have about that much whiskey left. Let me just pour. There's a splash of ginger beer. I don't think it's gonna work, but I'll try it. There we go. So it's about like 2/3 ginger beer, 1/3 chocolate flavored Crown Royal. Sorry, I was behind on the chat. I want to make brownies drunk with that now. Pour it on pound cake. You're the second person to say pour these on pound cake. That's amazing. You have most favorable take on Crown I've seen. Perhaps pair with orange flavor. I like that. Donner Pass Whiskey, cheers. Sorry, you just saw me freaking almost... I can't think of a safe way to say orgasm. You saw me almost orgasm over Crown Royal. Peak. I guess I could have peaked. Could you use it for flavor? Could you use it to flavor food, like something you bake or cake or something? I wouldn't bother because I think it's that close to like actually adding cocoa powder or even hot cocoa mix. I think if you're trying to add that flavor to something you're cooking, add the Swiss Miss or whatever brand you have hot cocoa mix. I think that is the flavor that's going on here, and I don't want you to waste whiskey for it. You know what I'm saying? Something to make an espresso martini with. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, just replace the vodka, pour some of that in there with like an espresso shot, and maybe some like espresso liqueur. I use Mr. Black's. Absolutely, hell yes. Hell yeah. Like that's actually what I'll be doing with this. Maybe not tonight because I already had... Actually, funny enough, I drank some Mr. Black right before this stream. Trying to take a little shot of energy. I don't want to drink too much of that before bed. But tomorrow, it's Friday. We get to experiment with that. Zover says, or coffee. Tony says, all 3 counts unsubscribed. Drunk chocolate bread pudding. Ooh, I like that. Cliffy OnlyFans. Oh. Listen, if a flavored whiskey is gonna make me launch an OnlyFans, it's gonna be the Crown Royal chocolate. Again, don't clip that. I could just see that being used against me in some court of law somewhere in the future. All right, let's go for a taste of the ginger beer and Crown Royal chocolate. It doesn't work. Like I almost saw something with the ginger, like the like spiciness of the ginger. I was kind of like combining, because you know how sometimes some chocolate, like specialty chocolates, have some chili peppers in it. So I almost saw a little bit of that, but I think it's not blending as well here. Yeah, to me that one's like the ginger beer didn't add anything to it. I'm not saying don't mix this, but mix it with something that's not ginger beer. Also probably not lemonade. I like y'all's coffee suggestions. That's actually a great call. Yeah. Don't do the ginger beer blend. I just had to do it because that's what I have as my mixer today. Dare I say, this stream was kind of meant to be a little bit of a joke, but it ended up being pretty dang cool. I found some whiskeys that I'm planning to buy again for specific purposes, and we're gonna get into that just now. So let's talk about ratings. Okay, we're gonna rank these first neat. How I feel about them neat. Then we're gonna rank them as a mixed drink. And I say mixed drink because I'll just say mixed with ginger beer because I've not compared them with other things, so I'll just take that as my ranking. Neat. My least favorite neat actually had to go to the Jack Daniel's Tennessee Blackberry. To me, it was a little bit of like a medicinal cough syrup cherry. Just didn't quite work for me. It smelled really good, but I don't think it tasted that good on the palate. Second place, neat. It's gonna actually have to go to the Jim Beam Pineapple. This one surprised me. I liked it. I actually thought it worked well neat. I think it worked well in a cocktail as well. This one is the most versatile of them all, I think. I wasn't expecting much with it being a pineapple flavored bourbon, but who would have thunk it? It works. And lastly, neat, my favorite. You already know this. It's the Crown Royal chocolate. As a neat pour, as a shot, maybe over some ice. This is fantastic. It's a great nightcap. That's probably what's going to be used for if I'm not using it as like an espresso martini, I'll be using it as a nightcap because this being a final pour of the night could just like, cap off your night. Actually, I bought some sugar-free hot chocolate when I was trying to be really strict about calorie counting, and that was going to be my like go-to nightcap. It lasted like one night, and I'm like, it makes me crave more. I think I'm gonna switch out for some Crown Royal chocolate. At least the nights I'm drinking. If I'm doing a dry day or whatever, then I'll of course use the hot chocolate. But dang, that's hella good, hella good. All right. In terms of mixing it, specifically with Emily, I saw your comment over ice cream. I see that. And I see Bailey's cream said so for milk and coffee drinks. Taste and sensibility. Yeah. Tony said I was sure that was gonna be the worst. Honestly, I didn't think it was going to be the worst. I thought the pineapple was going to be the worst. Actually, the pineapple surprised me a lot. Yeah, but in terms of I don't want to say as a cocktail, as a mixed drink, because I just mix ginger beer with all these, because ginger beer is my go-to. I mix it with everything from whiskey, rum, tequila, vodka. Ginger beer is my go-to. My least favorite mixed version of this was the Crown Royal chocolate, but I think that was just a mismatch. I don't think it's meant to be mixed with ginger beer. I think it's probably meant to be mixed more with like a chocolate or a coffee or something like that. Second favorite mixed version actually goes to, again, Jim Beam Pineapple. Also in second place, just like it was neat. It's a delightful drink. It's good. I just think it maybe it's a little like one notey, I guess I would say. And the only reason this one didn't win first place is because this Jack Daniel's Blackberry excelled in a cocktail. This one's absolutely gonna be bought. I'm gonna buy a full-size bottle of this specifically to mix in cocktails, whether it's lemonade, whether it'll focus. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna buy a full-size bottle of this. I think this one would work really, really well in a lot of summer cocktails. I know summer's almost over, but I'm in Southern California. It's hot as Hades out here. So yeah. Jack Daniel's Tennessee Blackberry is my favorite mixed new flavored whiskey. My favorite neat flavored whiskey has to go to the Crown Royal. And Jim Beam, right there in the middle on both of those. I don't think it's bad. Give it a try for $2. I mean, come on. What's the worst that can happen? I mean, maybe a lot. I don't know. All right, well, that's the end of tonight's stream. Thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, make sure to hit subscribe and hit the thumbs up button before you leave. But wait, if you missed my opening song, we're going to play it as my outro as well. Because why not? So if you missed it, we have a song I wrote and performed specifically for tonight's very, very serious, very, very important stream. So let's go and get that teed up here. Thank you to all the Patreons. Thank you to the Bike Club members. Let's revisit our song. I'm gonna pull up the end card. We're gonna see if I can do this seamlessly. I probably won't. Let's see what happens. Cheers, y'all. I'll see you next week for a very serious stream. We're gonna be doing some Tin Cup. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Cheers, and I will see you guys next Thursday. All right, bye.
Do you remember the first time? Do you remember the first time I met you in the Georgia mountains? And you gave me a bottle of pineapple flavored bourbon. Do you remember the second time I met you in the mountains of Tennessee? And you gave me a bottle of Blackberry flavored Tennessee whiskey. But the last time I met you was in the mountains of Quebec, and you gave me a bottle of chocolate flavored Canadian whiskey. met you in the Georgia mountains, and you gave me a bottle of pineapple flavored bourbon. Oh, whiskey. Do you remember the first time I met you in the Georgia mountains, and you gave me a bottle of pineapple flavored bourbon?